upload concerning the Bose One Pro 32. I have the sub 2, and I find the sub 2 to be a very good sub. It goes very low, it hits hard, all the things you'd want from a sub. But it stays very low. It doesn't really tend to do much more. It does sound a bit too overwhelming, and it seems to be a bit too obtrusive to the mix. It's a bit dominating and it tends to drown things out, which is why I need to cut it back so I can hear everything, so that all frequencies are represented. Even if I do actually change the presets on the EQ and I do play around with the treble and the bass. I'd like something that could actually provide more mid-punch. Low frequency mid-punch is missing on the sub 2. It tends to just feed those very low frequencies, which some could describe as muddy, and I shouldn't need to have to buy any add-ons to make it sound better. That should be taken care of straight out of the box. So I've been doing some experimenting with different subs. So what I've decided to do is try my DB ES1203 sub. That sub now, it tends to climb up the range more. It hits hard, it goes nice and low, but it climbs up the frequencies and it's got so much more punch. Well, it has got punch. That's one thing that's lacking in the sub 2. With the DBS 1203 sub, it has two 12-inch drivers and it feels like it's working a lot more efficiently. It doesn't matter if it's not a Bose sub. There are no rules to say that your PA has to match. I mean, already, how many of us are running subs and tops that just do not match? Nobody cares. Your client doesn't care. The guests do not care. They're more interested and concerned about the fact that you've turned up, and they'll judge you on your performance. I know it's not as light as the sub 2, but it's another option I have. I don't particularly mind carrying around a 29 or 30 kilo sub. It's got 3 amplifiers in it, that's why it's so heavy, and maybe the 2 12s. And also it's birch, it's not plastic, it's pure quality. Believe me, carrying around a 29 kilo sub is a doddle compared to what I used to carry around. 2 40 kilo KW181s, and now my even heavier KS118. I can also control how I want the sub to sound by using the controls on the sub itself. So I can go into the menu and I can make alterations there. This sub gives mid-punch that the sub 2 doesn't give. The DB ES1203 sub has a bigger involvement in the playback of your music. Very musical. You know what? I've found the sweet spot. I think we take it for granted that the fact that the manufacturer has supplied us with the perfect sub that matches and completes the PA. Obviously, everyone has their own taste of how they want things to sound, but what I'm getting at is everybody wants something different from the performance of their sub. Some people want one sub 1, some people want one sub 2, some people want 2 sub 2s, 3 sub 2s, 4, and so on. And although the ES1203 sub is heavier than the sub 2, I prefer the way that it performs with the Pro 32 column. Just putting it out there that you could purchase an L1 Pro 32 on its own and experiment with subs. If you're thinking of buying a Pro 32, try it out with the sub that you have at home. That just could be adequate. It just could be what you're looking for. Might be best to do a demo first with the sub 1 and then the sub 2. Purchase the Pro 32. Think of how much money you could be saving. I can say that the ES1203 sub takes the L1 Pro 32 from sounding good to sounding great.